One of the topics that has been discussed in some of our tech peer groups has been how it is that we address supporting networks of computers. And it's interesting because some of the people on the table have very large networks at multiple facilities, and they're using VPNs and dedicated T1s, and everything is tied together, or they have Citrix solutions or something like that. And supporting it ends up being kind of its own whole department and its own structure. Many people on staff, and it's complicated and requires a lot of structure and procedure. Other places are so small that it really is pretty easy to just buttonhole the techie in the hall and say, something's broken, the smoke is coming out of my computer, can you come and do something about it, and get immediate results. And a lot of the discussion has been very interesting about how those things are handled, because it doesn't seem to be so much the size as the philosophy that drives how you're doing it. And it's almost like waiting on a customer. It's as if when I have somebody on my network that can't get their job done because their technology isn't working in some way, then there is some urgency for that, because they need to get their job done, and the efficiency of the company depends on how quickly I can get them back to work. I, as a result, feel like I need to be available, and if somebody buttonholes me in the hall, I'm not going to say no very often. Once in a while I have to because schedule won't permit. But as much as possible, I like to respond very quickly and get people back to work. That means having spare workstations or other places people can go down, just move and sit down and log in at a computer that works. It means that I'm paying a lot of attention to prevention rather than cure, that I keep fairly new machines out there and deployed, that I'm really good about updates and security patches and antivirus and those kinds of things. But it really is focusing on delivering reliable technology, and that means being very responsive and covering a lot of the simple things, making sure that the backups are good, making sure that people understand how to use the technology, make sure that people are complying with acceptable use standards and having a written acceptable use policy, and you know, not rolling my eyes and groaning whenever anybody forgets their password and I have to reset it again, which happens a lot. Password policies are one of those things that, you know, impacted a lot. It would be perfect if everybody had passwords with, you know, 8 characters and special characters and numbers and upper and lower case and all those kinds of things for security. But the truth is, if I actually required all of that on my network, everybody would invent this beautiful encrypted password and then write it on a sticky note and stick it to their monitor because it was too hard to remember. On the other hand, using words out of the dictionary or your pet's name is not going to work either. It's easy to remember, but it doesn't really provide any security. So somewhere in the middle there is a sweet spot that doesn't require me to come out too often. If I'm resetting somebody's password, if I have to respond to password stuff maybe a couple of times a week, I figure I'm about right. If it's less than that, then the password policy needs to be boosted up a little, I think. I think it's important that the technology not be scary, because people are kind of scared by it, and you need to reassure them that it's going to be reliable, that they're going to be able to find their stuff, that if they save a file somewhere, it's not lost if it's not on paper. You know, we're trying to go more paperless, and we have to keep catching the people that are squirreling away little bags of paper by the side of their desk so that they know that they have it and it hasn't disappeared into this, you know, invisible system somewhere. It has been interesting, but the support part of it, I think, is, from my philosophy, really the best idea is to just feel like people on this network are really my customers, and I need to wait on them, and I need to do a good job of that.